Our topic right now is going to be subtraction. And subtraction is the opposite of addition. So let's sort of think about that for a moment. If you're walking in one direction and you now start going the opposite way, there is actually a way that you can go back to your original destination. You have to make another reverse. And then technically everything will be sort of this back to the status quo. So making two changes really keeps you going in the same direction. You end up keeping the same value in a sense. So to change the signs, and notice that's plural, then we're going to be able to combine. That's going to be the key to subtraction. Change the signs. Right? We're going to have to make two changes in order to be able to go back to what we know, which is hopefully addition. You'll see here a lot of phrases going on for subtraction. Subtraction is adding the opposite. Basically, you can change every subtraction problem back into an addition problem. Always, through math and much of life, go back to what you know, right? So, if you had our nice problem of 8 minus 7, you've done that I know 1,000 times in your life, technically 8 minus 7 is the same equivalent of having 8 plus a negative 7. Basically here, if you had an 8, which I have here, 8 little circles, and I'm taking away 7, I have only 1 left over. And you knew that probably going in before, me even telling you anything. But likewise here, 8 and a negative 7, you've learned before that when the signs differ, you find the difference. The difference between an 8 and a 7 is 1. There are more positives than there are negatives. So again, two different ways to think of the same problem. Okay, so we've got to keep that in mind. We can change every subtraction problem back into an addition problem. Now this one was sort of nice because we dealt with two positive numbers. In this case, we have 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to try to take away a negative 2. Now, one thing we're going to need here is some negatives. I'm going to go get some negatives. All right, we're ready to get some negatives. The fact of having a negative 2, but I don't want to change the value in the problem. I have 7 and I'm trying to take 2 negatives away. Well, we learned before that, here are 2 negatives, but if I were to go and have a positive with it, a positive and a negative, they don't change the value. Remember, that technically adds to 0. So look what happens here. If I wanted to try to now physically take away 2 negatives, I could do that. I don't want to totally erase them, but there's my 2 negatives. I'll take that away, and what am I left with? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, look at that. That is the process that goes in your head when you turn this problem, 7, and you're going to take away a negative 2 into 7 plus, see how that changes, and the negative 2 changes to a positive 2. Remember 2 things. 7 plus 2, I know that one. And hey, sometimes you will know those ones and gain your confidence. Every problem is different, so we're going to try to take a look at some different situations that can happen. Here was a positive, and we're going to subtract a negative. Let's take a look at a situation here where we have a negative, and we're going to start to subtract a negative number. Here's our negative 10, and I'm going to take away a negative 1. So there's my negatives, and I want to take away one of them. So literally 1 comes off, And you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, they are negatives. So my answer would be a -9. Another way to think of it, you don't have to always be doing circles and drawings, but it helps in the beginning to get things more in focus. Remember, we're going to change this sign, and we're going to change that sign. Just think of that person walking back and then switching. 2 changes keeps you going in the right direction. So there we have the idea of here's 10 on the negative side, here's 1 on the positives. They neutralize each other, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And again, they're on the negative side. So you want to eventually go that you don't have to write down circles, that you can gain that confidence and sort of imagine that it going on in your head. But remember, you go right back to addition. That's why it's so important to practice that addition and get confident in those skills. Let's take a look at a few more. Here we have -12, and we're trying to take away 3. Again, you can imagine the visual. Here's 12 negative, and we're trying to take 3 away, but there aren't 3 positives to be had. Now, again, you can think of it having, we have to introduce 3 positives, but along with the 3 positives, we have to introduce 3 negatives as well. So now to be able to take them away, and even if this time I'm, ooh, see, you blinked and you missed it. All right. So now we would have 12, 13, 14, 15, and they're all on the negative side. So again, here's what had to happen. The first number stays put, the negative turns into, I should say, turns into a positive sign, but remember, basically that's our verb. That's subtraction, changes to addition, and 3 changes into a -3. You remember your rules for addition of integers. Woo, keep on rolling. I got a -15. I'm losing money, and on top of that, I've lost some more money. Key. As you saw, subtraction, you do 2 changes, you're back to addition. Do 2 changes, back to addition. Practice, practice, practice. And don't worry, those little dashes soon won't scare you. Good luck.